He is someone who has transformed the education system across the Indian schools in Oman. Dr. Baby Sam, welcome to SpotLight.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you for hosting me.
It's a pleasure for us as well. Doctor, I just wanted to ask this question towards the end of our conversation, but I think I'll start with it. You've been associated with Indian schools for quite some time.
That's right.
You've been in the board, this is the second time you're in the board, and
Correct.
you're the first as chairman, which is coming to an end soon. The curious question that I want to ask is, why are you not contesting again?
Well, you're right. I'm not running this time. It's time to give way to fresh young blood. Seriously, I have been at this non-stop for the last 4 years, as you rightly said. First term as a director, then now this term as a chairman. As much as I've relished this experience, I had to keep on hold a lot of projects, and it's time to get back to that.
Tireless journey.
That's right. Yeah.
I've heard a lot about Vision 2020, which of course is your brainchild, but I'm very curious to know what exactly is that?
Well, when we began this term in the year 2018, the first thing that we did was to define a long-term aim for the Indian schooling system. The ultimate aim is to ensure that every child in the Indian schooling system should undergo transformative learning, equipped with the skills, knowledge and well-being to find the true identity and purpose in life. What it simply means is that schools are places where our children are readied academically, physically and mentally to brave the 21st century, where the love for lifelong learning is being kindled, where they are made adept at the 21st century skills, where positive policies are framed, taking into consideration the best interest of our biggest stakeholder, that's our children. So in simple terms, we need to be child-centric. We then conducted an extensive survey among our parents, teachers and students, to understand their pain areas and areas of improvisation. Along with the survey results and keeping in our mind our long-term aim, then we documented an immediate vision plan, a documented set of objectives to be achieved by the year 2020. And that's called the Vision 2020 document. And it also comprises of a to-do list, what we're supposed to do, with clear timelines in place, and it really helped.
And we're nearing 2020. So how far it has progressed?
Well, the new initiatives that we have planned for this term was something like 26 of them. But we ended up, thanks to the teamwork, we ended up having 38 new initiatives rolled out this term. And that's, of course, history in the Indian schools.
If you can brief that, those 38 projects, maybe some of them, would be interesting for our readers as well.
Various initiatives. It's basically, the fundamental aim, as I said, is like, preparing our children for the 21st century. Now, why prepare our children for the 21st century? If you look at any Gulf parent, me and you, we always lament over the very fact that, our children are not as street smart as, children back in India.
True.
Which is a fact, because our children back in India get, a wide variety of opportunities to expose their learning, to practice their learning. Be it simple things like, grocery shopping, managing their own expenses, traveling to and fro from school, independently, higher exposure to people, interpersonal relationships, and this all contributes to the so-called fact called street smartness. Street smartness is nothing but being self-reliant, being resilient, being innovative, being having the skills of negotiation. And these are the kind of skills that the corporate world is looking at today.
True.
Compared to even Marx. Now, if you look at the 21st century skills like creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, media literacy, civic literacy, now this is what our children needs to imbibe in them when they are growing up as adults to thrive and grow in the 21st century. And this is possible through holistic education. Underscores the very fact that overall development of a child, be it academic, emotional, psychological, physical, that's what we've been aiming at. And a series of initiatives have been launched in line with this, apart from academics. I'm talking about extracurricular, like leadership training program at regular intervals for our student community in association with Majan University. We have an entrepreneurship club that has been launched.
Okay.
Yes. named STIDES, and we are to sign an agreement with EDII, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. So it's a very reputed organization. We launched STI to basically inculcate the habit of creativity, innovation, enhancing your reasoning and scientific aptitude. Science, technology, and innovation was being launched. We had around 25 various events under the platform, under the banner of STI, like Youth Conclave, Artificial Intelligence, and Augmented Reality in concept rooms.
Something which I have not heard when I was in school here.
That's right, yeah. Planetarium shows. We had a science aptitude test that has been conducted. So over 7,000 students have participated in the very first year, and possibly one of the largest technology events among the schooling system. We launched Indian School Quiz, making learning fun. 1,300 teams participated across the 21 Indian schools. 2 preliminary rounds have been conducted totally online, and the grand finale was witnessed by around 4,000 plus students, conducted by the eminent quizzer Vinay Mudalia. We also had Avanner. 2 editions have been covered this term, Avanner 2018 and 2019. Almost 12,000 students participated in Avanner, and this is a great opportunity for our children to understand the changing landscape in the corporate arena. The new trends, latest trends in the higher educational sector. Now, we also have presented Shiv Khera, I'm sure you have attended as well.
Yes.
Shiv Khera, the renowned motivational speaker. And this year we had the eminent academician, Professor L.S. Ganesh, coming and addressing our students. Apart from that, 70 plus eminent industrialists and academicians from and outside Oman came and shared their expertise with our students, and it has been a great opportunity for our students to hear from them. We had Indian School Talent Fest, the cultural fiesta of Indian schools, with over 2,000 students from 19 Indian schools participated this time. Indian School Film Fest has been launched.
I was part of it, yes. Yeah.
Has been launched this year. It's been again a 2-day program where the whole idea is to utilize the media of
visual
media and storytelling to drive home powerful messages and values. We had student-run magazines in 6 different languages launched this year. Unique talent recognition, that is to identify unconventional talents within the Indian schooling system, not only to identify, even to encourage them further. And also this year, when we started, this term when we began, we started with 2 new initiatives, which is called Gift Book and Voices, both to imbibe the feeling or the sense of giving, as well to promote volunteership. Gift Book, the first term itself, we have got around 7,000 books in good condition, and Voices is young communitarians of Indian schools, where the fundamental aim is to help the poor, the needy, support the community, and to protect the environment. And our children did their best. They touched the lives of many in their own ways. They cleaned the beaches, they visited the sick, they raised funds for the poor and the needy, they planted trees, and the likes. And one another initiative which is very, very close to my heart is Here For You, Let's Talk. So 24/7.
Which was launched a year back.
That's right. 24/7, 365 round-the-clock counseling service. A dedicated number has been given, and 46,000 plus our students can access this number, get to them at any given point of time. On the other side of it, you have a counselor, all set to address your emotional and emotional concerns. Mm-hmm. So as of today, we have around 300 plus cases that we have addressed very successfully.
Okay.
And if you really look at it, I haven't heard or read any such initiatives across the world, especially in the basic education sector. True. So that's a project which is very close to my heart as well.
But Doctor, while we talk about the co-curricular activities,
Yes.
Parents obviously these days gives more importance to academics as well. I mean, that's one of the primary thing that's the reason why they send students to the schools. What are the initiatives you have taken in that aspect?
You're very right, Nishad. For a parent, for a student, as well for the school, the most relevant or the most clear indicator of success, even today, is nothing but academics and the major area of concern. I agree to it. I'm so happy to share that 2019 board results was the best in the history of Indian schools ever.
Okay.
And not only in Oman, it's one of the best results in the region as well. Whatever our board results were. Now, strengthening academics means you need to have positive policies in place. You need to empower our people. We need to enhance our resources. So for which we formed an academic advisory council and a technology advisory council and a special education advisory council. Now, an academic manual for the Indian schools is almost ready. Should be launched anytime, possibly by the next month.
What are the highlights in that? If you can just
in the academic manual, it gives a clear framework of where we are supposed to head with the 21st century, learning and teaching as well. Now, this year itself, this term itself, we also have launched a physical education manual. We have launched a counseling and special education manual. Now, we also launched a virtual learning environment, which is named the ISO VLE, Indian Schools Oman Virtual Learning Environment, for the first ever time. And this is not very common in the basic educational sector.
That's where the world is going, actually.
Exactly. And this is more common with the higher educational sector, but we developed and we managed this particular portal in-house. And there's tremendous response from the student, and it has been widely used by our student community as well. Launched in January 2019, and today as we speak, we have more than 190,000 page hits. You have around 9,200 unique users, 22,100 plus sessions that is being conducted. We also have video lessons. We also have live seminars. We have peer-to-peer learning. And we have question banks and presentations all available. It acts as basically a knowledge repository for our student community. During the last board time, pre-exams and during the exams, we also had something called teletutoring, where subject experts were available on WhatsApp and call any given point of time, and students could reach out with this to their teachers. Remedial classes, enrichment programs, and Gurukul has been expanded to various and rather new schools as well this year. So all these have contributed towards a better results in the year 2019. Resource enhancement was also a very important element for us. If you look at the flagship project of ours, the Indian School Voucher, where applied learning and holistic education is given predominance, has been launched this year. First term itself, we have got 1,800 plus students joining the school. Indian School Ibra, we moved to a new premise altogether. In schools like Indian School Mulada, Indian School Seeb, Indian School Mabela, Indian School Ibri, we had new classrooms now. We have new laboratories in place. We have multi-purpose halls in place. So, a resource enhancement, infrastructural enhancement has been given great importance during this term.
You have extensively spoke about the student development, the agendas you've had. What are the initiatives that you have taken for the faculties? That's also a major, they are also a major players in this sort of vision.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Empowering our resources, empowering our people is the most important thing, and that's how we better our academic results as well. The overall aim that we have. They are basically our missionaries of our vision. A series of initiatives have been rolled out in this term. Apart from the faculty development programs that has been rolled out in the independent individual schools, we also had centralized training programs that has been organized, starting from our head of the institutions, the principals, to the second level of leadership, till the administration. We had a series of activities rolled out. Our principals have been sent to the US for a 10-day leadership training program with Dallas Baptist University. They also got exposed to what happens in the public as well, the private sector, basic education in the US. Our second level of leadership, our vice principals, AVPs, they got trained on leadership again from OP Jindal, Delhi, by last week. And as far as our faculties goes, our teachers goes, we have done a capacity building exercise with CBSE, first of its kind in such a kind of manner. Around 1,100 teachers got trained onto this particular training program, and we had the best resources from CBSE also joining us in Oman. Rest of the teachers, rest of the faculties, it has been live streamed across all the schools. We also conducted a communication training program for our administration staff, a communication and etiquette training program for our administration staff. And we are also expecting to have Oman being training hub for CBSE shortly.
Okay, so the plans are underway, I think.
That's right, yes.
If you can pick up some of your best moments or achievements, I would say. I'm sure there are lots, but some of your best moments, what will that be?
Well, all these 38 initiatives are very close to my heart. But if you really ask me some of the best moments, one is definitely the 2019 board results. Another one is we were able to give 100% admissions at the first lot, and in the year 2019, and 75% of the parents got their first preference. We have said a no to afternoon shift admissions.
So you're no more taking afternoon shifts.
There's no more admissions taken in the afternoon shift anymore. The launch of Indian School Bosher, the 21st Century School, is another milestone. Also other events that other initiatives that I've told you, like Indian School Talent Fest, Indian School Film Fest, a banner, ISO VLE, IS Quiz, all these are very close to my heart. 24/7, 365 round-the-clock counseling service, as I said. But the most important thing, what I feel, is like a paradigm shift in the thought process in terms of like how we are supposed to look at education by and large, or rather a major focus towards holistic education. And I think that's the biggest achievement possibly. I do not say that it's a complete success as we speak. It doesn't happen overnight, but definitely there has been a stepping stone that has been done. But I think we are in the right direction. Yeah.
How can Indian schools grow further? I mean, like say in next 10 years, what major changes can we see within the Indian schools in Oman?
There is no way that we can be the way we are today. Our schooling system should transform themselves from information centers to centers of excellence. Our schools needs to be 21st century space of 21st century learning and teaching. And because we are preparing a new generation for jobs that do not exist. So that transformation is inevitable.
When we talk about the board elections or the school elections in general, every time we get to hear about fee reduction or changes within the schooling system, I'm sure you must have come across all
Yes.
that. How far you could deal with such issues?
Well, changes within the system we have committed and we have delivered. And as I said before, there has been a paradigm shift in our thought process. That itself is a great thing. We have gone further in terms of our commitment towards holistic education. When it comes to fees, fee reduction per se, now we need to understand this. This is how it goes. Board is a policy decision-making body, and every individual school has its own school management committee. And the school management committee runs the day-to-day operations of the school. And at the end of the year, they prepare the budget in accordance with the need of the school, submit it to the finance committee of the board. They study the same with their recommendation, present it to the board, and board ratifies, and then it goes in for implementation. So what I was trying to say is like it is a collective decision of the board, in any kind of a thing that we kind of come across. But when it comes to fee reduction per se, I do not think it is a very practical solution, as you rightly know. Reduction may not be a practical solution, but at the same time, I do not discount the fact that there has been a rise in the percentage of parents that needs financial assistance and support this time. We totally understand that, and we do the best possible to address this as well. I'll give you an example. Indian School Muscat alone, this term we have rolled out or rather supported parents who are financially challenged in the tune of something like 140,000 Omani riyals. Oh. That's something like 40% higher than last term. So we definitely support such initiatives. We also coming up with sponsor a child programs, fee concessions, scholarships in various schools. So the school management committee takes such kind of a call. Yes.
I'm sure it was never an easy, sort of journey for you over the last 4 years. I'm sure you must have had your share of criticisms as well. Looking back, how do you take all that?
That's a good question. As you rightly said, it has never been easy. But at the same time, some of the challenges were very enlightening as well. But Nishad, if you really look at it, end of the day, it's a team effort.
True.
It's not me myself. You have a board, you have a board office, a very vibrant board office. You have the school management committees, you have administrators, you have the wonderfully dedicated teaching community. So it's been a team effort altogether. Now, what has been disheartening at some point of time was, when people criticize you without understanding what the system is, how the system operates, and what the reality and what the fact is. So that has been sometimes disheartening. In an era of fake news and altered facts,
I've heard a lot of them.
Yeah, I think we need to get out of our comfort zones to understand what the reality is before we decide on something and before we believe on something. Yeah,
but you've done some amazing stuff. Like, I mean, as we just spoke, many things that you've done. But at any point, did you regret, being part of the system and leading it from the front?
I would say, I mean, it would be a lie if I say no. Yes, there have been instances, but where I felt the same. You are a professional. Why did you get into this? And that, at the end of the day, it's a voluntary service. But then overall, in a nutshell, if you really look at it, as I said, it's a fulfilling experience, and it's been a great learning curve for me. So I would love to cherish this experience.
Being the chairman is never easy. I'm sure, like we just said, a lot of criticisms that comes your way, a lot of things to do. You spend a lot of time within the system, spending time with students, teachers, and the management committee members. How do you motivate yourself?
Well, it was a choice that I've personally made to be part of the system. The prime reason of motivation is to empower, or rather to bring up a new generation which is going to be more committed towards the society, to be more considerate, to be more humane in nature. So that is quite possible, I strongly believe, is through holistic education. I remember the words of Andrea Safiroku, the 2018 World's Best Teacher Award has been conferred to her. She has been asked this question: how are you able to do this? You cannot. It's impossible to be so selfless, and go out of your way to support the student community the way you are doing it. And the answer she gave is like, that the future of my nation belongs to these kids. I echo her same thoughts, and as I said, like, for me, it has been a very fulfilling journey.
Now that the elections are around the corner, the board elections, what will be that one advice that you would want to give to the new chairman?
Well, two things. One is, at any given point of time, any decision that you take, you are accountable to different stakeholders.
Right.
Your reporting authorities, school management committees, parents, teachers. Keep your biggest stakeholder in the middle of the circle and ask this question: how is it going to benefit the child? Have a child-first approach is the first suggestion. Another one is that a clear vision document will really help this term, or rather this board, achieve its targets. Likewise, I strongly feel that the next board should have a Vision 2022 document, or name it what not, but a clearly documented plan of action with clear timelines, and declare the same so that you have an open commitment. And I think that will lead us to the right direction, that is to ensure that every child undergoes the transformation that we've been talking about, or that we shared in the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. It's a pleasure talking to you, looking back at this journey, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. It's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and it has been great talking to you as well, Nisha.
Thank you.
Thank you.